Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So today marks the start of the second half of Season 1 for Marvel Rivals. We're getting the Thing and the Human Torch finally. The Fantastic Four will be finished out. I know a lot of people are excited for the Storm Human Torch combo, the support ultimate melter that it seems like. But aside from meta changes and aside from team up combinations, the company itself seems to be marred in some controversy right now regarding layoffs of their Seattle branch. The company who makes Marvel Rivals, NetEase, is not an indie company by any means. Since I was in high school, they operated for Blizzard in the China market, so they have a lot of experience under their belt and they have a lot of capital behind them. And that's not to say that Marvel Rivals didn't perform incredibly well. For a free-to-play live service game, it's made over $150 million, and it's really showing no signs of slowing down either. This game seems like it's going to stick around for the long haul, which really makes it seem crazy to hear news that they fire an entire branch of their workforce. Normally, when you hear about these layoffs, people assume it's because the company is doing poorly, poor sales, a bad estimate, things like that. I'm sure you saw too many videos about Concord failing and how that was Sony's last ditch effort. They're going to have to wrap it up or start making good games again, or they're going to have to go out of business, go woke, go broke, and all that. And they'll blame the layoffs on this stuff. But whenever it's a successful game, a successful company, that still lays people off. Suddenly, all of these Gamergate, rage bait YouTuber types can understand the forces of capitalism at play. That these are wealthy bosses trying to consolidate power, trying to consolidate money to pay as little people as possible. Some of you are going to be really hard up on yourself and try to blame this on it being a China thing. And I would say there does seem to make some sense in wanting to have all of your workers in the same country, especially now with the tariff wars that are going on between the United States and basically everybody in the world. And whether that's a pay thing because American salaries are higher, or whether it is pure retaliation government to government. The fact of the matter is, this did not happen because the game failed. And if you want to keep to American companies, think about Hi-Fi Rush. Even though Tango Gameworks was a Tokyo-based company, they were bought by Microsoft because they were a successful dev company. They made a smash hit game in Hi-Fi Rush, and then they were shuttered. And then the CEO of Microsoft gave himself a $30 million raise. I just find it so frustrating when these Gamergator rage baiter types always blame everything on wokeness or DEI programs and initiatives and stuff like that. And you can have your gripes about forced characters, you can have your gripes about poor narration and seemingly ham-fisted plot lines and stuff like that. But when it comes to people's livelihoods and people's jobs, the obvious answer about corporate greed seems to get thrown to the wayside the moment you can push your blame onto minority groups or programs that you disagree with, or perceived slights by society against you for being a white man. I'm not gonna lie, this does put kind of a bad taste in my mouth with playing Marvel Rivals now. I shouldn't have had my hopes up that any company is going to actually do right by their workers. Even FromSoft, which I know is some of y'all's darling, is very guilty of doing crunch time on their workers. And it just seems like this industry in general, gaming, it's tough on the creators for it. The people who actually put in the legwork, the people who do the coding, the people who do the testing, they get used and abused by these corporations. The moment the product is up and running, they get tossed to the wayside so they can keep more of the money for themselves. I really feel for these developers too, because obviously I'm someone who likes to play video games, and I would like for the people who make them to be fairly compensated and to actually have livelihoods to come home to. But it seems like the focus now is on profits more than product. Like with most things in our capitalist framework of society, it's all for shareholder value rather than for the consuming public. It seems like the only way to ethically consume video games is to only buy indie market games. But even then, you don't know what kind of developers you're dealing with, and maybe they abuse some of their staff underneath them. So I guess this is kind of one of those no ethical consumption under capitalism things. I hope you make the right choices and support companies that actually care about their workers, but at the end of the day, it seems like all of these game dev companies really don't care about the people making their products, so just try and spend as little money on these games as you can. Enjoy yourself any other way, and I guess until we hear about another round of layoffs from a game that's doing insanely well, y'all try to have a good day.